Okay, good morning and welcome to Iyun with Benzion as part of the greater Yeshiva YouTube, the only yeshiva available on YouTube, virtual, maybe the only virtual yeshiva. It's great to have a virtual yeshiva because it's a soft yeshiva. It's not a hard yeshiva with real people who clamor for your time and ask stupid questions and bother me during the year and after this year. There's a soft year. There's soft Talmud Torah. There's hard Talmud Torah with physical Talmudim and soft Talmud Torah. What I do virtually is really the best of both worlds. I can share it anytime I want. I can say whatever I want. Put it on the internet. People can watch it anytime they want at their convenience. So it's the best yeshiva out there, just based on that premise, for me and for other people. And besides the fact that the actual content is the best Torah you're going to find anywhere in the world. All right, so hey, Amid Aleph talks about a case here. We'll talk about it towards the middle of the daf. There was a certain woman. She was trying to take a shua. Beidina de Rava. Rava was the dayan, had a basin. Amalei bas Rav Chisda. His wife was the daughter of Rav Chisda. Said to him, I know this woman. She lies a lot. She'll take a false shua. Afka Rava the shua shekenegda. He believed his wife. And therefore, the other disputant who didn't have to take the shvuah, he made him take the shvuah and either claim the money or exempt himself. So therefore, he's able to flip the shvuah based on her. So the Gemara says, a couple days later, Zimnan have a yasu coming to Rav Papa, Rav Adabar Masna, Aisu Shtar Gabe. They brought a star in front of these rabbis. Amalei Rav Papa said to Rav Adabar Abba, who was a dayan, Yadana the star Pariya. I know this star was paid back. You can't collect with the star. You have another man to testify with you. Amr lay low. He said, I don't have. Amr lay afakabdikamar Eirechad lav klum. And Eirechad is worth nothing. Now the problem with this Gemara is that we know Eirechad is worth a lot. It's to chayav a shvua, right? It's to chayav a shvua. Midal Raisa. It's a chazaka. It's hanhaga. We rely on it to chayav a shvua. So with him Eirechad lav klumi. So the article promptly says Eirechad lav klumi to collect the money, not the star. And also, in the case of, he believed his wife. He didn't believe his wife, right, to collect the money, just to flip the shvuah. That's not exactly a raya. Kim Legaveh is not a raya like Shtei Edom. So the Gemara continues to explain, Amrle Rav Papa Kabas Rav Chisda. At least Rav Papa should be like Rav Chisda, a woman. He's a man. A man is neman for Eidos. A woman's not. The Gemara says, Rava knew his wife. He believed, he trusted his wife. Marlo Kimle Begave. I don't know this guy personally. I can't trust him. I don't know Rav Papa personally. I'm Rav Papa Hash Damar Mar Kimle Begave Milse. Rav Papa's reason based on this is the following the past discussion that if you know the person personally, you can trust them almost as two Adam. You go on Abba Ramari, the Kimle Begave Karnashtar Apume. Like Abba Ramari, he was trustworthy to me. I know him personally. A Talmud of mine or someone I know personally. If someone bring a star and he would say that star was paid off already, I would rip up the star. So the Gemara says, "Karan sakal you rip it up, right? He doesn't have the koach of two edim. Kim does not have the koach of two edim. I would downgrade the star. Now, what does that mean to downgrade the star? Downgrade the star means lo is dakek rasha lagabos bosa star. I won't use that star to collect, but I won't rip it up. So, what is the status? So it's clear from the Gemara, Kim does not have the power of two edim. Furthermore, a woman can't be believed like even one aid. How she believed like two Aiden? We don't see that she's believed. She's just believed to flip the shvuah, not. So the idea over here, I think, the answer to all these questions is that this Kimle Begave does not mean. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Chavetz Chaim. I used to read his sefer on Shmiras HaLashon about Hilchos Lashon Hara. He says Kimle Begave. If you know the person, you trust the person, you can accept testimony from some person. You don't have to be choshesh that he's not telling the truth. Right? Like Shtei Edom, Kim Legaveh. If I know the person personally, even though it's one Edom, it's like two Edom, and therefore I could believe Lashon Hara. I could believe Lashon Hara, meaning usually you don't want to believe Lashon Hara if you're just gonna, right, try to believe that someone stole from someone money and go make him pay back. Kim Legaveh is the worth like two Edom. This Gemara is clear; it's not like two Edom. All it does, basically, let me just explain what Kim Legaveh does, is that Kim Legaveh, and it works by a woman also. It's not a din in Eidos. It's not really din of Eid Echad, meaning the first case where he believed his wife, someone else was chayav a shvuah, right? She was chayav a shvuah. All he did, Rava, was flip the shvuah to the other person. Now, Eid Echad is neman like a chazaka, right? Like an assumption. Mechayev a strong suspicion. It's not a raya, it's not a full-blown proof, because a full-blown proof you could be motzi mamash, shtei edim. Eid Echad, you can't be motzi mamash, you chayev a shvua. So, if you're kim l'gvei on a person, you could rely on that person to flip the chazaka, meaning that we explain the difference in a raya and a haga, birur and a haga. A raya is clarity. We have clarity in the situation. We can collect money from someone. You can bring a raya, it's clarity. We know. If there's only chazaka, which is 75% proof, not 80% proof, let's say, so therefore you have an haga operates based on what they think is the right way to be noeg over here, to act over the proper way to act in this situation, to adjudicate the case, even knowing they're not attaining clarity over here. This is the way we're specific. We don't know what to do, so we have grounds to act in a certain way, to be noeg in a certain minhag, to be noeg in a certain way. That's what a chazaka is. Kimle begavei is enough to flip a chazaka. That's what it is. It's to flip on hago. We had a reason to adjudicate a case in one way. So someone's kimle begavei who testifies, or we believe opposite that, they could flip the anhaga to make the other person take the shvuah. And that's why Rav Papa, he didn't trust him, right? When he said Eid Echad lav klumi, right? We're talking about a case where the person has shtar. Now, if we have a shtar against a person, a shtar is basically a chazaka, right? By a shtar, right? Whatever is under my hand, technically we assume, it's an assumption, chazaka belongs to me. So I have this shtar, mostly shtar in somebody, and there's no evidence that it's been paid off or not. So I have a chazaka. So Rav Papa was trying to use Kimle Begaveh. He said, I'm Kimle Begaveh, but he says he wasn't Kimle Begaveh. He didn't trust him. So therefore, you can't marana, like the Gemara says, you can't ruin the shtar. You can't flip the chazaka. Normally, you can collect with a shtar. Anhaga is to collect with a shtar. It's not a proof of shtar necessarily, but you can collect with a shtar. So you want to ruin that chazaka and make the other person who's collecting the shtar take a shvua. You can't do that. Eid Echad lav klumi, to flip the chazaka, right? Eid Echad would be something, but you can't flip the chazaka. He has a shtar. When we say Eid Echad mechayev a shvua, it's only talking about there was no shtar. There's no shtar, so there was no chazaka either way. So I can establish a chazaka based on Eid Echad and make him take a shvua. Otherwise, to flip the chazaka, no. And that's what the Gemara says, that if you are Kim Gaveh, you're not going to karana, you're not going to rip up a shtar, because that would be like Shtei Edim. But if Kim Gaveh works in order to change the hanhaga, change the chazaka over here, I would be marana leila shtar. Even the shtar is a chazaka, I would disprove it in a certain sense that he needs to take a shvua along with his shtar. I would flip the chazaka, and the haga normally is to collect with the shtar. I flip the Kim Gaveh allows me, I trust this guy personally, so therefore I have grounds not to be knowing in a certain way. Personally, I know this guy. I have grounds not to be knowing in a certain way because it's not a truth. It's just not a haga. It's just the way we act. So I'm going to act differently over here if I trust this guy, and therefore it'll weaken the shtar, not completely tear up the shtar. You'll weaken the shtar. Is you need a shvua to collect with the shtar. That's the conclusion of today's shir. I hope you enjoyed. I think it's really meaningful and really exciting and enjoyable. This shir. I think it's a great shir. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.